Howdy, this is a salesminder tutorial for account executives, and it is called Creating New Companies. I'm going to log out and log back in so that you can follow me along. I'm logging in as Bozo the Clown, which is a fake username I use throughout all these tutorials. So the question is how do you add a new company? And the first thing that we want to say is that you can't add a new company. If you're a sales account executive, you are not able to add a company. And the reason why is because management, your sales manager needs to control who it is you've decided you're going to go after. They need to know what's on your prospect list and who you're digging up to sell more ads to. So the first thing I wanted to do was to show you that when you're logged into the company's database, you can click on Add, and that's where you think you would be able to add your account. But when you click on Add, it says you are not allowed to add a company. So why would you be trying to add a company? Because you were walking down the street and saw a neat-looking business to the right of you, and you walked in the door and started talking to the owner, and he'd been thinking about advertising on the radio, and he wants to talk to you more. So you're going to be coming back to see him with a client needs analysis, say next Wednesday, and you want to track that in your calendar system. Now, the calendar system is something you don't know about yet, but you will. And in order to track in the calendar system, you have to have a company to assign activities to. So you really need this company. What do? Well, there's a report that your sales manager has given to you and explained to you that outlines how you write out your new account information on this report, and you give it to the sales manager. They check it off, and they give it to either themselves or they give it to someone else that inputs the company. And within about a day of you giving them the report, your company should be in the database, and you'll be able to enter everything you need to. So I'm going to log out and log back in as myself, Doug Nelson. And I am going to enter a new company just so that you can see how it works. I start off in the company's database, and I have this company in mind, and I click Add. And for me, since I have the privileges of an administrator, I get to add the company, and this is what happens, is you get a totally blank screen. And we'll call it Jimmy's Cajun Shack. So it's a restaurant that specializes in Cajun food, which is great. I hope I spelled shack right. I'm not sure. So that we have the company title. Now, really, what can we fill in? I click down here. There's nothing. I click here. Nothing. I can't do anything. A lot of the times in SalesMinder, when you try to click on a field you think you should be able to click on and you can't get a cursor to show up or something like that, what's really happening is it wants you to click Save. So I'm going to click Save. And it's going to pop me up a company list that shows me all the names that are like Jimmy, and it wants me to double check that it's not already in here, because that does happen a lot, that you don't think the company's in there and you try to enter it and all of a sudden you realize it is, and then you run into the situation where you have two accounts with very similar names, but it's just a mess. You don't want to go there. So I looked at and I don't see a Jimmy Cajun Shack anywhere, so I click OK. And boom, it's created Jimmy's Cajun Shack with just the basic information. And right now you see that it's account exec assigned to it is me, because I just created it. So I'm going to go in here, and this is the account executive assignment station where I'm going to delete myself and put in a new salesperson. And what this tells me here is it's saying, be careful, if you delete this, bad stuff will happen, and I'm not worried about it because no one's ever done anything here. So I assign a new account executive, and I'm going to pick Mr. Bozo, and I'm going to assign him to WSPY-FM. And I'm going to pick the class of the station, which is something you'll learn about later, as a Class D, and I click OK. Now Bozo the Clown shows up here. So I've added Bozo the Clown as the account exec assigned to this account for WSPY. Now I can add a contact which would be the person in that store that you walk by that really wants you to do a CNA. Maybe his name is Jimmy, as the name would suggest, Jimmy Cajun. And we can jump down to the title, and he is the owner. And his address is 1516 La Di Da Street in Morris, in Illinois, 60 whatever. And his phone number is bup 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 bup. And we click OK. So now the account form that you fill out to enter a new company for your sales manager would have the name of the company, the contact, and the assumption that this is going to be entered under your name. So the sales manager is going to get it, and he's going to enter in all this data here that you wrote down on the form. And this is the basic stuff the sales manager needs to see if you're going to be cold calling this person or doing a CNA. So I'm going to log out, and I'm going to log back in as Bozo the Clown. And all of a sudden, what do we have here? We have Jimmy's Cajun Shack. And we have the contact, and Bozo is now assigned to it. So what you see has happened is we've gone from no account, or no company, to a company in just minutes. And it's instantaneous. As soon as the sales manager or whoever puts it in for you, boom, it's done. And that concludes how to add a company to your account list.